Muppet Treasure Island is a childhood favorite of mine, and today marks the 30th anniversary of when the movie was released, so I had to do an anniversary review of it. And it's still one of my favorite Muppet movies, and I remember when this came out in theaters, I was begging my mom to take me to see it because I I was when I was little, I was obsessed with pirates. I had a collection of like pirate toys, pirate books, pirate movies. I was 4 years old when this came out, and I was also a huge fan of the Muppets. So that was a that was a big gold mine for not a gold mine. That was a big mashup for me. Pirates and Muppets. What more could you ask for? An adventure comedy the whole family can watch, and it is an adventure comedy the whole family can watch. You can sit down with your kids and watch it and show it to them. They'll have a good time. Um, there's no like no bad words in it, no like dirty jokes or sex jokes or innuendos or whatever. Well, there's a little like Miss Piggy flirting with human pirates. It's kind of weird, but um, the, the plain plot of the story. I mean, if you've heard of the novel Treasure Island or seen any of the previous movie adaptations of it, then you know what Treasure Island is. And you know the story. Jim Hawkins finds this treasure map, goes on an adventure to an island to find buried pirate treasure with this that British merchant ship captained by Captain Smollett and along the ship's cook, Long John Silver is revealed turns traitor, and he leads a bunch of crew of pirates in a mutiny against the people. And yeah, this follows the plot of the book mostly, except with a lot of the darker stuff in it, like the thing with Israel hands and a lot of the more violent fight scenes are left out of this movie because it's for kids. Although, I mean, it is pretty dark at the beginning. Like it seems like it shows a scene of all these like pirates, like a flashback of all these pirates going up to Treasure Island to bury this treasure, and Captain Flint, Billy Bones' old captain, he pulls out his guns and they're singing a song while they're marching across the island to bury the treasure. And then when the song ends, Captain Flint pulls out his two pistols and like fires them, and he fires them at the camera, and then he walks back up to the beach, and then we hear Billy Bones narrating that 15 men went ashore that day, and only Captain Flint came back. He slaughtered all of them, and then it goes to like the end that Jim Hawkins works in with the Muppet characters Gonzo and Rizzo, and they're working as waiters at this place. The innkeeper, Miss Blurtberry or whatever, yeah, she has this weird habit of like being able to hear things from a far off distance. And whenever she overhears a conversation and gives them orders, don't get back to work, and they're like, "Does she do that?" It's a funny running gag. Yeah, yeah, but it is not like in the novel, Billy Bones is an alcoholic, and in the movie, he's an alcoholic too. And of course, he dies in the movie just like he did in the book from a stroke from drinking too much. And Rizzo, he says he died, and this is a kids' movie. He's the first person to die in a Muppet movie. And then the house is attacked by these Muppet pirates, and it scare me a bit when I was a kid because it was a little too loud in the theater with the surround sound. Uh, there's a funny scene when the innkeeper, she beats up the pirate Muppets, and then they escape the pirates. They go on the treasure hunt on the Hispaniola with Kermit the Frog, who's Captain Smollett, the and Fozzie Bear plays Squire Trelawney, and the I forget the character's name, but that green Muppet who's a scientist and his assistant Beaker. They play they play Dr. Livesey and his assistant Beaker, and Miss Piggy plays Ben Gunn, who in this movie is a female instead of a male, and she's like Benjamina Gunn, and she's Captain Smollett's old girlfriend, and of course Kermit and Piggy. We got to get them together. It's a love story. They have a nice love story in the movie that's not too distracting, not too annoying, and the action scenes are pretty cool. There's some great musical numbers like the Cabin Fever song, the Shiver Me Timber song at the beginning, like and the song about this wanting more adventure by Jim and Gonzo and Rizzo when they're cleaning up the end, and a few other great songs. Yep, the acting in this movie by both the human actors and the Muppet performers is great. They all do a good job. Tim Curry steals the scene as Long John Silver. He is excellent in the character. I think this is the first movie I've seen with Tim Curry in it. He pulls off the role very well. And Long John Silver has always been a favorite fictional character of mine, one of the best characters in fiction. And even though he's somewhat of a villain, he does care about Jim Hawkins, both in this movie and other Treasure Island movies, and also in the Treasure Island book. We get so he's more like an anti-villain. That I really like the character. He's very fascinating, and the the comedy in this movie is excellent, very hilarious, and if you're a big Muppets fan, then I suggest you see this. It's directed by Brian Henson, son of Jim Henson, and there is a post-credit scene during the end credits that's very funny that you don't want to miss. Like I said, you can sit down with your kids and watch this if you have kids. It's appropriate for all ages. No bad words, no dirty jokes, no nudity, none of that stuff. Just good, clean family humor. All right, that's it for now. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.